Hello everyone. I hope you're doing well. I'm Supriya Anchan from the Technology Advisory team at Nexdigm. Welcome to another topic in our series themed Women in Technology. The aim of this initiative is to connect with women from across the globe, making a difference in their area of work. I am joined today by Anjali Sharma, who has been working in the technology sector for more than 17 years. Currently, she is working for Johnson & Johnson as Business Technology Leader for J&J Medical Devices Supply Chain India and Digital and Data Analytics Business Technology Leader for Asia Pacific. In her current role, she partners closely with medical devices business teams to shape, influence, and define digital and analytics solution in line with strategic priorities to strengthen the overall supply chain capabilities for the Asia Pacific region. She has led and contributed to some projects of national strategic importance, like the UIDAI and direct benefit transfer for LPG. She has served as mentor to young boys and girls in her area of influence who aspire to build a career in technology. An MBA in Finance, she holds a Bachelor of Engineering degree in Computer Science with Institute Gold Medal. She is a Rashtrapati Guide Puraskar awardee from the President of India and has her name included in the Limca Book of Records. Welcome to this podcast, Anjali. It's a pleasure to have you with us today.
Thank you, Supriya. Pleasure is all mine. Thanks for having me here today. As I understand the context of these series, I believe that these podcast series aim to benefit and inspire young women who aspire to make a career in technology and come to the forefront and chase their dreams. It's definitely the need of the hour. Please let me know how can I contribute to this initiative.
Absolutely, Anjali. That was actually very well put by you. The objective was to inspire more people from the younger generation to take up this technology as a career. And with the kind of experience and expertise that you have, your insights and your experiences will definitely be a value add for this series.
Thank you. Thank you, Supriya. I'm sure I'll try to do my best in that.
Anjali, let me start by the basic. What actually first got you interested in technology so that you would, make it your career path?
So, Supriya, I come from a very simple middle-class family from a tier 2 city. But fortunately for me, my parents were into teaching. So they valued the importance of education and very early in my schooling years empowered and supported me to learn and explore. Specifically, the interest in technology was seeded in my childhood. Thanks to introduction of computers, our school introduced a mandatory course on coding and computing. I was in class 4 then. So conducive environment through workshops, competitions, counseling sessions, career orientation sessions actually helped me to develop a passion for the subject, which I continued through my schooling years. And when I secured a seat in computer science and engineering for my graduation, I never looked back again. And career into technology was a smooth transition and has been throughout in technology.
Anjali, like you said, the foray into technology was something because, probably your parents being academicians and you also had the school introduced computers as one of the subjects to interest children at that young age. What do you think, or how do you think can the industry, academia and society do to address the issue of this low representation of women as they move up the technology ladder?
Absolutely, Supriya. So you've touched upon very 3 important contributors of the ecosystem. So let me take them one by one. See, if we want to promote women in technology, then the ratio has to first improve in our engineering colleges, because that's where the majority of our employable base is built. So the academia has to really work towards preparing and mentoring girl students in the school years and have that connect with technology. And in fact, there is no field today which has been untouched by technology. So seeds of association with technology need to be rooted in the school years. Coming to industry today very well understands this. They very well understand the need for women to be represented in the industry. So they have taken a lot of initiatives. I work for Johnson & Johnson, so just let me take some examples. J&J is heavily invested on initiatives to promote women in science and technology. Girls Who Code, We STEM 2D, which stands for Women in Science, Technology, Engineering, Math, Manufacturing and Design. Then Reignite program, which is an internship for 6 months to encourage women who take a break in career and then they want to join back the workforce. Then in our J&J technology also, there is a strong culture of inclusiveness and equity and diversity, and a lot of initiatives are done in this area. So similarly, the good companies, the good organizations are heavily invested in taking such initiatives where they can promote women. Now, coming to society, in society, there are initiatives where girl child is being promoted, education is being promoted. But what we need to promote are the role models in science and technology for young, impressionable minds. And there's a very important point that I believe is that as a culture, especially in middle class families in tier 2 and tier 3 cities, girls at best are encouraged to be financially independent, not to be career oriented. So this perspective definitely has to change if we want to see more women in technology.
True, Anjali. I think as a nation with different organizations, with various people taking steps towards ensuring and encouraging women to be part of the technology forefront, what we see today is probably the pace of it not being as rapid as we would have wanted, because in spite of these initiatives taken, there are lower number of representations of women in the senior positions. What do you think needs to be done to address that, and what do you think would be the scope of growth of women leaders in technology?
So, Supriya, I agree that a representation of women in senior positions is limited across the corporate sector. And in the recent reading, I read that the number of women running business in Fortune 500 hit an all-time high record of 41. But 41 is not even 10% of the Fortune 500 list. And figures are even more skewed in the technology sector. The factors that come to my mind are, number one, if we look at the ratio is healthy at the entry level. We do not have that much of an issue of women representation in technology at the entry level. But once they reach the mid-level, there are competing demands from job, family, society, marriage, children, parenting, right? The great
True.
Organizations that really value the contribution of women, they provide flexible policies. In fact, they provide the option for the women to design their flexible working routine as per their choice and convenience, and the organizations and teams adjust to it. And it's just a phase, a few years. If these middle management years are handled well, probably we can control the dropouts. We can address that particular issue. Just giving an example from my previous organization, during my second child delivery, I had developed some complications and I had decided to quit my job, which I dearly loved doing. Immediately, my HR, my reporting manager and some seniors, they reached out to me and gave me an option to opt for any feasible, flexible working model that suited me. They did not give any time restriction. And they said, try to motivate yourself to stay connected with the organization and your field of work. Because if you're disconnected from it now, it may take you a few steps back. And that was some very, very good piece of advice. And had that advice not been there, the story would have been something different. Yeah. Another thing is a very important point. The debate is over. There have been a lot of debates about a representation of women in senior positions. So now is the time to take some hard decisions. See, when economy is difficult or there are monetary fluctuations, government and organizations take tough decisions, right?
True.
But when tough decisions on women representation are taken, then the debate starts all over again. Now it's the time to end that debate and organizations to take tough decisions to improve women representation at senior levels, or else wait for another minimum 100 years for organic growth of women. Another point that keeps disturbing this representation is the unconscious biases that find its place in the industry. Organizations are conducting many awareness trainings for men to overcome the unconscious biases. They may be positive or negative, but they have found their place into the industry. And I really want to believe that these trainings will be helpful to minimize the unconscious bias, and men would be more open and adaptive and acceptable to seeing women in senior leadership. I think these are the things which can help improve women representation at senior positions.
Anjali, I couldn't agree more. When you said that the representation at the starting or when you start off of your career is quite encouraging. But as it narrows down as you reach middle management, because like rightfully put by yourself, there are other factors and aspects of life that one needs to handle, and managing, juggling too many balls together becomes very difficult. So at that time, probably you need the support of a very conscious organization, and also the mentorship of your leaders and seniors who can help you through this phase. So when you have that ecosystem so well, protected and built, you can definitely sustain and grow in such an environment. That is something probably the organizations and individuals themselves need to work upon to ensure that they are helping and supporting their fellow colleagues, their juniors, their mentees, such that tomorrow we have a workforce which is not just technically and technologically sound, but integrity and the aspirations and feelings that they have for the organization is also very strong.
True, absolutely, yeah.
Anjali, what are your experiences and suggestions for maintaining this work-life balance? That thin line that we always seem to be balancing on. What are the measures or to cope with the expectations of job and managing your personal life? That is a battle which we all fight. What would you suggest?
Yes, Supriya, that's a battle we all fight as women, more so than men probably. And I know it is tougher to do than to say, but truly I will stick to the cliched answers: prioritizing, being flexible, and seeking help when it gets tough. This worked for me. I'm an early riser, go to bed early, mostly start my day at around 4:35 a.m., plan for the day and finish all the critical work as the first thing in the morning, anything that requires concentration, focus, urgency, and must to do. And I do not hesitate to ask for help if need be. I have overcome this feeling of this notion of being a superwoman and trying to do all by myself. So my husband encourages me, supports me, my in-laws, my parents, my kids have become independent, and I have help at home. So I do not hesitate in delegating some of my work, which I do not have to prioritize. I just focus on being prioritizing and being flexible in my working hours. On the job front, the job demands, I read a lot. Please invest ample time in learning what's latest and stay relevant, and work on your strengths and enjoy whatever you are doing. And most importantly, please understand that technology is one sector which offers a lot of flexibility. Remote working is possible in technology sector. Flexible working is possible in technology sector. Organizations are giving you policies for flexible working, fresh facilities, taking care of your parents. All these policies and opportunities are there, so please make use of them. Please reach out to some senior working women in your area of work and discuss your situation. I'm sure you will get some guidance on how to handle the circumstances to manage both your job and family. Most importantly, stay connected with your close friends. We all sail through similar situations sometime or the other. Advice from friends can help you cope up with a lot of work-life balance issues. That is what has worked for me.
I think irrespective of the strata that you belong to and the situation that you are in, there definitely is a solution. One definite thing is that we should not hesitate to ask for help at the right time. and not kind of look at ourselves like being superwoman to need to have answers to all questions. So if we are able to sit back and analyze our areas and what are the bottlenecks and what are the issues that we're facing and find solutions within that paradigm, we are definitely will be able to find answers and be able to do better. It may not be as difficult, but we really probably need to sit for and think for ourselves what works best for me, because what works best for someone else may not work for me. But there's definitely a solution that I can find when I have everything clearly put out, and analyze it in a very clear, with a very clear mind.
Yeah.
Anjali, before we close, any last thoughts? What would you like to say to young women aspiring to make a career in technology?
So, Supriya, I would like to conclude with these thoughts that the first important thing for women who want to make a career in technology is to invest time and energy in learning. Your forming years should be invested in serious learning and skill building, because if you don't have the right learning attitude, skill and excellence, then actually there is nothing to manage, right? Then another thing that I would want to ask them to do is that please build confidence to ask for what you want to do with your career. Your subject selection, your career selection, your work area selection should be a matter of choice and not a matter of chance. As I mentioned, it should be a decision of a career development and not just getting a job. And definitely to manage your career and your job, you have to stay relevant. Currently, there are a lot of focus on leading emerging technologies. A lot of work is happening in different digital analytics and AI/ML areas. Know what is happening latest in your area of interest and stay focused. Getting a mentor always helps, because they have been through the journey that you are planning to treat upon. And always work to sharpen your strength. And last, please persevere. It's a lot of hard work. There is no easy way out.
Anjali, you've really summed it up very, very well. Thank you so very much, Anjali, for those interesting thoughts and sharing exclusives from your journey and experience. It's been a wonderful conversation, and I'm sure our listeners will find this session to be interesting and useful. To all our listeners, thank you for being part of this podcast. I hope you enjoyed this as much as we did in putting it together. Stay tuned for another interesting conversation coming up in this series. Until then, stay safe and stay inspired.